Hey everybody, hey, how's it going? It's old Tractor Daddy here. As you know, me and Attitude Adjuster, Gary Herbert there, we've been not having the greatest luck with the 4600 series Massey Ferguson. I believe his is the 4608 and I have the 4610. It's been junk since I got it. It's still junk. They've done all kinds of work. Doesn't do nothing. I thought I might show y'all some of the latest developments that I don't know. It's just, but it's a mess, that's for sure. So if you can see, we'll turn around here. That's all fluid coming out of the tires. For some reason it's decided to start leaking fluid around the rims. This on both sides, obviously. This this one's not leaking near as bad as you can see, but it is starting to leak as well. It's just been one thing or another with these tractors. It's non-stop. You know, you hear me and Gary talk about the launch control on our tractors. Well, that's basically what it is. It feels like you're going to trying to go to outer space. It's about 20 degrees here, or a little cooler. So I'm gonna get in this tractor and sit down. But as you can see, this here was originally the draft controller for my 3-point, and they replaced my draft control with a shuttle adjustment, as they call it. Well, to have any difference in the launching of the tractor, you would have, originally you had to turn it all the way down on the lowest setting to make it have any difference at all, or you could be at not even a quarter idle and flip the launch control and it would jerk the front tires off the ground of the tractor and stall it. So now, after they've done this little setup, turning it down on the lowest setting, well, it still will spin tires in the gravel, which is the opposite. Well, I wouldn't say the opposite. Gary's tractor has lost power. Attitude Adjuster's tractor has lost power to where he can't even get it to spin the tires. This one, however, if you use this shuttle adjustment right here, this is our launch control, it'll just jerk the holy crap out of you. It's ridiculous. Now, I will say our dealership, Gary, Attitude Adjusters, had a lot of problems with his dealership as well. The dealership that I deal with, Montgomery Tractors, they have been very helpful in, the case of this tractor. They've done everything they can. It's pretty much, like I said, this tractor's supposedly been split 3 times. It's been about a month and a half, 2 months since it was split the last time, and this new adjuster and everything was put in it. On the way, I drove it back from the dealership to the farm, which is around 15 to 20-ish miles. I drove the tractor, and there wasn't no difference. You could tell. The binding, they did replace a lot of parts in the rear end, brake wise. It seemed to help the binding in the tractor for a little while, but it is, within the past week, it has came back as well. Of a morning, with it getting down cold like this in the 20s, and tonight I think it's supposed to get down to 7. Tomorrow night it's supposed to be down to 0. The tractor has to set and warm up for a good 30 minutes before it even wants to move. If you try, if you try to take off in anything other than say third gear or lower, the tractor will stall. It will not pull itself. There's just, in the summertime, same thing, only not near as bad. It does get worse when it gets colder, which is kind of, understandable, but I've never had a tractor do it before, and I've owned several different tractors. It's just a mess. The chattering that comes from the rear end, as we call it, the noise that this tractor makes is unbelievable. It supposedly, from what I've been told, is because they use straight cut gears instead of chamfered gears. But if that was the case, to me it seems like it would do it in every single gear, and this tractor doesn't. It fifth gear high range, sixth gear high range is really bad. And it just sounds like the rear end in this tractor's coming apart. If you drive the tractor down the road for 5 miles, the rear end gets so hot you can't hardly touch it. And like I said, this tractor is a 2014 model. I'll look right here. It's got 2,117 hours on it. I'll show you right there. I mean, for a tractor of what they described as the ultimate loader tractor and this and that, and obviously I don't have a loader on mine because I just didn't need it at the time, didn't want it, just wanted this tractor. Its main use is rolling hay, and feeding hay in the wintertime was going to be the main use for this tractor. It's basically all I'll use it for. Mow hay with it, roll hay with it. It was going to be my main tractor. However, didn't need a loader really. So, this is still supposed to be a very nice tractor. And at a $50,000 price tag, roughly, for it to only have 2,100 hours and to just be crap. I mean, it's junk. There's no other way to explain other than this tractor is no good. Gary's tractor, same way. There's several of them out there that are the same, Unfortunately, and too, I know, Gary, attitude adjuster, he's in legal, works with them and things like that. With the way that I use the tractor, and, it is a daily basis, the tractor has to be used to feed the cows and things like that. It's not as important now as it is in the summertime. However, it is still used daily. We have to haul hay with it back on the farm daily because our property's rough and you just can't get the truck back there when it snows and things like that. So I'm not going to be able to have a long, lengthy, legal battle with Massey Ferguson, with AGCO, with none of them. At this point, my only option is to try to find somebody that would give me a decent trade for the tractor and go get a new one. As bad as I hate to do it, hell, this one's 2014. Shouldn't be no reason to need a new tractor at this point. So that's the case. That's what we're working with, is we're just going to have to find a new tractor. Because we can't, if this one implodes or the front end goes out or whatever, we're in a world of hurt. I do have other tractors, but like I said, when it's 0 degrees, it's rough, especially with just being me and an 89-year-old man using a tractor without a cab on it in 0 degree weather to feed, just not to mention 2-wheel drive. This is the only 4-wheel drive tractor we have. It's just not feasible, and it's not a problem we should have to deal with. Like I said, we bought a cab 4-wheel drive tractor for this specific reason, and every other one we've owned, we've not had these problems. Yes, they've had their problems. I've had McCormick, Case, things like. Yes, they've had their problems, but nothing compared to this tractor. And they always say, well, there's a bad one in there. And there's going, I've seen nothing but bad ones. There's 4 to 5 of these tractors within a 50-mile radius, and they all have trouble. It's just a defective product with lethal defects. It's just a huge mess, and I'm not sure what, if anything, will actually ever be done. I really hope that Gary's and their attitude adjusters, situation pans out, and I have a feeling he's going to fight it until it does. He's just that kind of person. Like I said, I, on the other hand, don't really have the option, or we, I say I, we, me and the old man, don't really have the option of waiting that long. We're gonna have to, we're gonna have to get rid of it and find something else, because we can't be without a tractor. This one has been in the shop numerous times. And even if it's warranty, that's still $75 each time they come get it. If they come get it and take it to the shop, $75. They bring it back, $75. So we're looking at $150 in just them hauling the tractor to and from the shop, which in the big scheme of things isn't a lot of money when you're looking at $7,000-8,000 in repairs each time. And yes, everything we have had been done to the tractor has been under warranty. However, now it is out of warranty. This last time they split it and worked on the rear end and all the brake work, they did cover parts under warranty, which they didn't have to. It wasn't that, like I said, that's not been an issue. This is the brake situation. This was the first time they worked on it. They did cover it under warranty. However, we did have to pay the labor. And, you're looking at $650 in labor for a job that was done around 2 months ago, and now the same problem's right back. So, if I take it back up there, they do another $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 in repairs. Well, the way I figured, I'm still looking at another $600-700 in labor. So it's going to get expensive on our end as far as repairing the tractor. I have a feeling with them charging labor this time, it's the first time they've done so. In the past, everything's been covered under warranty except for the delivery and, the pickup and delivery fees. I have a feeling that it's fixing to get very expensive. I would say this whole everything being covered under warranty came to an end. And now that they've realized that, they paid labor last time, so let's hit them with, I have a feeling that's what's fixing to happen. So like I said, at this point, it's just a matter of try to get rid of it. We're going to have to. We have no choice. We have to have a good tractor, and the way this one's going, it's not going to last. If, even if it makes it through the winter and comes spring, comes time to start mowing hay and rolling and things like that, well, I get 50, 75, 100 acres of hay down and this thing tears up, I'm at a loss, because I do not have another tractor that will handle the size roller that we have. This is the only one. And they sure won't send me a loaner. They never have before. I've fought with them forever to get a loaner, and no, that ain't happening. So I don't know. Like I said, it'll work out, I'm sure. It's going to have to. Like I said, we'll just have to bite the bullet if it comes to it and buy a new tractor. But it's ridiculous. I would not in any way, shape, or form recommend Massey Ferguson to anybody at this point. There's absolutely no way I would buy another one. Would not recommend them to anybody. Wouldn't. I have nothing good to say about the tractor. Well, I take that back. I will say that the heater in it works amazing. Even in the summertime when the air conditioner's on, heat still works amazing in this thing. So that is about the only good thing about this tractor, is the heat works good when it's cold. Other than that, no. And Massey Ferguson has still not released the rights to this tractor to aftermarket companies to make aftermarket parts, so we can get a little cheaper parts. This particular glass door right here, we busted it in the summertime. Not because of anything, just simply because the door itself opens too far when you have the tires set out wide on this tractor. The door, if you're not careful, will open too wide and catch the tire, and it did, and the old man wasn't paying attention, and I had the door open and went to pull off, and the lug caught the door and just completely shattered the door. That was $600 just for the glass, and it's simply because, like I said, they have not released the rights to the tractor to make any other company to make aftermarket parts. So it's a money pit is all this tractor is. And anybody that has one, if they're not having these problems, then by God, you're one lucky person. Because like I said, I know several that have had. Gary had mentioned in one of his videos that we had broken the rear end in the tractor plowing. He was a little off on that. It was actually a person I know who has the same 4610 tractor as we have, and they're the ones that the rear end, as they were plowing with their tractor, it busted a shaft in the rear end, and they were informed that that is not what this tractor was made for. That this tractor is a light duty tractor and intended for use around 6-7 hours a week, hobby farming basically is what they were told the tractor was intended for. What I don't understand is how in the world would anybody think to themselves, I'm going to buy a 100 horsepower 4-wheel drive cab tractor and not farm with it. I'm only going to use it 6 hours a week, 7 hours a week for... It's ridiculous. That is the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard in my life. You don't pay $50,000 for something that you're gonna, not use, especially a farm tractor. I can understand if you buy a sports car or something and only drive it on the weekends or whatever. That's understandable. This is a tractor. It is for the agriculture, community, made specifically for the farm, and yet you're not supposed to use it on the farm, apparently. That is just the biggest load of shit I've ever heard in my life. And that, came straight from the salesman's mouth at the dealership, who I won't say his name because he's a great guy, and I don't want to get him in any kind of crap. But he, specifically said, well, they intend that tractor to be used as a hobby tractor, light duty. That's not what that's not what we bought it as. We bought it as a farm tractor and apparently made the mistake of buying it because I guess it's not a farm tractor. I don't know what it's supposed to be used for because nothing, it's just a mess. These tractors are ridiculous. Gary's more... attitude adjuster. He knows more as far as specs and what AGCO does and this and that. Well, I'm just a dirt farmer. I don't do this for fun. It's not. This is what we do. We're poor dirt farmers. Cattle, hay. That's our livelihood. If we don't put the hay up every summer, if we don't feed the cattle in the winter, well, we're gonna starve. They're already starving us anyways because cattle prices is so low. But to have to deal with the situations that we're dealing with these AGCO products, it's no wonder millennials are taking over the world because, obviously AGCO has never actually been in the field, or whoever the engineers or whatever that build and design these tractors, they've never been in the field, obviously. They don't know what works. Either that or they know what works and they don't want to build that product because they know that it'll last. They don't build a product to last. They build a product to break. That way you keep spending your money, you keep buying more, this and that. And that's ridiculous. I have a Case 995 David Brown sitting over in the barn. Basically all we use it for is to rake hay. It's the first tractor the old man ever bought brand new. in the 70s. It's wore out. It's an old tractor. However, I can go over there right now, put a battery on it, pump the tires up, and it'll fire right up and run every day. Now, not everything works on it. Steering's wore out, parts are wore out. They still work, but they're wore out. And, and that says a lot. Here, you've got a tractor from the 70s that does what it's supposed to do for the most part. And then you've got a 2014 model that can't hardly use it because the darn thing's junk. That right there says a lot. That lets you know that they got tired of making products that will last and not. And so they, have started making products that won't last, so they keep getting your money. Well, that's not right when it comes to farming. They're wanting us to spend the money, here, farmers don't make a lot of money anyways, unless you're a huge 5,000-6,000 acre farm that, the smaller guys, we're not getting rich at this by no means. And, and now they're making it to where we have to continue to spend money on products that we buy from Agco, things like that. Well, what's going to happen when these farms can't do it no more? What's going to happen? They're going to starve to death. These engineers and these things like that going to starve to death because, somebody's got to grow this stuff that y'all are eating. Somebody's got to, raise these cattle that fix that hamburger you get out there at the store. Those big highfalutin steaks you eating out at these fancy dinners y'all go to. Guess who's growing that stuff? We are. And you're making it to where we can't. That's unfortunate because, I'm not going to starve. I'll make sure of that. But when y'all put all of us out of business to where we can't make a living, you're going to be the ones that starve and things. And I don't think y'all think about that. Y'all's food comes from Walmart. Y'all's food comes from Kroger's or wherever. You don't take into consideration where it comes from before it gets there. And that's sad. But that's what the world has come to. So, boys, I've said here I've got to go do a few things. Had some problems with the truck this morning. A brake caliper locked up on it. We got that fixed. Now I need to haul a little hay. And unfortunately, the old lady's come down with pneumonia right now, so I got to go check on her, make sure she's not sick and doesn't need to go back to the hospital or something. But y'all, like I said, if you make sure to like the channel, check the videos out. I'll try to start uploading more. Gary's kind of talked me into this, and if it was damn cold, I'd go out and take trick videos of this tractor jumping and launching and blah blah blah. But I'll do that later. Right now, it's just, like I said, I'm so aggravated with it, and it's cold, boys. It's getting cold, and I want to go do something, so y'all have a good one, this old tractor daddy. We'll see y'all later. Bye.